How do you feel, I guess, in that game Saturday?
I mean, obviously the result wasn't good. I know that I made some plays that I don't like, and I know I made a lot of plays that I do like too. So it's just about trying to key on what you can do better and do what you do well, even better than that too.
When there is a shift in the D pairs, what's the message from Dean and Sheldon?
I think it's just that the result isn't acceptable, and that's something that we know as a group and as a team. And we're never complacent losing, especially to one of the record-wise worst teams in the league. So it's just always a continuous improvement process.
Your first trade deadline around this team, what's it like? I guess does it ever change?
No, I mean it's really not a huge deal. It's kind of it's that business where anything can happen at any time, so you got to be prepared. But I don't think guys really think about it too much day to day.
Back in blue, how did you feel out there today?
Yeah, I felt good. I think everything's just kind of moving in the right direction. So it was nice to kind of get back on the line and run through. Run full practice and just kind of try to get the timing back and everything like that. So just kind of see how everything responds tomorrow morning and just kind of see how I'm feeling. But for myself, just trying to get in the mindset and anticipation of playing and just kind of go from there and see how I'm feeling tomorrow.
Is this kind of where you hoped to be, or you feel like you're ahead of schedule? I know it's like exactly 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean I think that's kind of the 3-week day was kind of the reevaluation, I guess, and it's been progressing pretty well. So I feel confident, feel good, going into it, and like I said, just kind of see how everything feels tomorrow. But everything felt pretty good today, and it's been feeling better and better every day. So
you never want to miss any extended period of time. Does it make it a little easier when you're kind of recovering from an injury and the group does have time off and you're not missing as many games as you maybe normally would in a schedule?
Yeah, I think that helps. Just coming in and getting some good work in and stuff, and it sucks watching. It's no fun. So it's definitely there's always the good and the bad. So I think just trying to take in the silver lining of things and utilizing the break to improve and just kind of feel better while we didn't have games, and hopefully this is the last time I'll be missing another game. So. Yeah, like I said, it's no fun watching.
Are there any spin-off benefits, Austin, of getting a bit of downtime, obviously rehabbing the injury, but just to recharge the rest of your body heading into the stretch run?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of, I felt like I kind of got my break a little bit earlier than everybody else, so I didn't mind. I thought the week I had here was a really positive one, and so, I feel rested and like I said, it's not fun watching, but you got to put in a lot of work, I guess, to get back. And so sometimes that can be a little bit draining. But I think the couple of weeks that I've had have been really positive. So I'm really happy with the way we're moving here, and just going to take it day by day.
When you have
Do you have any particular goals for the remainder of the season?
I mean, I think for the team, it's just us, consistency and making sure that every night we're meeting our standards in the locker room individually and as a team, and making sure that our habits are staying true to our identity and not letting those things slip. So I think that's really the main goals we have as a team, is just continuing to hammer down some of these little details that kind of can slip at times throughout games and throughout the season, and just making sure that we're staying dialed in.
So I know you've had experience coming back from injuries. In that experience, does it come back fairly quickly for you when you're hopping off for a little while and you're back in the groove?
In my experience, the first game back, always, you always kind of got the adrenaline and everything feels, somewhat pretty good. I find the second game is always a tough one, and I'm not really sure why, but I think it's always, the excitement, the adrenaline kind of rushing through in the first game, and then, once you kind of get a couple games under your belt, you're kind of back to, normal. You're back in kind of game shape and, kind of going with the natural flows of the season. So, in my experience, that's how it's typically been. I mean, it could be different. You never know, but, yeah.
You've played Patrick Kane quite a bit. What's it like? Does it ever get old? I know you admired him growing up.
Yeah, no, it never gets old. I mean, he's an unbelievable player, and he puts you on the edge of your seat every time he's out there. So, in my experience, it's always fun lining up against him and playing against him. And obviously, he's been extremely elite player ever since he stepped in the league. So, it's a lot of fun competing against guys like that.
I don't know what's going to happen at the deadline, but he could be traded. Is it hard to imagine him in a different sweater?
Yeah, I think it'd be a little, weird, but I think it's been weird kind of not seeing them in the playoffs too, because the runs that they had, and obviously a little bit of a rebuild for them the last few years. But you never know what can happen. But yeah, he's an amazing player, great guy, and I think he just wants to play hockey and compete. So.
William took a roughing penalty on Saturday. You take a lot of abuse as a offensive star player. Do you find there's benefits that you don't do it all the time, but if you hit back like that can help you moving forward?
Yeah, maybe just little messages there here and there that maybe give you a little more time and space and a little more breathing room out there at times throughout the game. So I had a pretty good laugh when I saw him do that. It was great, and when they played the replay, I thought. As it happened, it looked a little bit worse than when you slowed it down, but I got a pretty good chuckle out of that for sure.
Was he here? Would you skate at all with him during the bye break? I guess.
Yeah, we were skated separately.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pierre, just what was your takeaway from Saturday's game? What did you take away from it?
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously not happy with how it ended the game. I think we're at 2-0 lead, so we got to be able to carry that, and just got to be better in those situations.
So your line was so good on Friday night. What happened for you guys in particular on Saturday?
I think we started off. First period was good for our line. I think we played good. Kind of took away from the game before, played the same way, and then we had one shift there in the second period that obviously wasn't good. Take with us what we did good, and the other thing we just gotta improve.
So what's the message, I guess? What do you take when the coach, you don't play a lot after that shift?
Yeah. I mean, it's ways if we play better, it's it's tough. We gotta get better and obviously take care of the puck in diesel, and we did not do it.
What's the feel with Yarncroke on that line with you?
I think it's going to be good. He's a hard-working player, and I think he fits really good into our line.
What is the trade deadline like in Toronto from your perspective?
I don't know. I don't think about that, to be honest. I just try to focus on my game and play the best I can, and yeah.
What was going through your mind when William Nylander took a roughing penalty on Saturday?
I don't know. I think he hit him late there, so I understand that he got a little bit pissed, to be honest. It's nice to see he's aggressive out there.
Yeah, it might help him, do you think, at some point moving forward, that players know that he's got that?
I don't know. I think he's always aggressive, to be honest.
He's got that fiery personality.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sheldon, how did Auston look to you today, and what's the outlook moving forward here with him?
I thought he looked good in terms of the outlook. We'll just, today's practice was an important one in terms of getting him proper reps and non-contact jersey and all of that. There hasn't been a ton of practice time with the team, but he has skated quite a bit. So we'll see how he is in the morning, and look to get word from the medical team in terms of his final status. But I think his intent coming into practice today was to feel good and be ready to play tomorrow. But that determination won't be made till tomorrow.
Obvious. He's had some experience, obviously, coming back from injuries. What have you seen in your time as a coach when that has happened? And does it take a while to get back, or did you hit the ground running?
Yeah, you know what? Nothing really stands out to me, frankly, one way or the other. I haven't given it too much thought that way. In my time here, there hasn't been anything too extensive that that he's missed. So, and even in this case, he's missed some time for sure, but a lot of that time was over the break, and everybody was missing time there. So, I think, like we talked about with all the guys that had the break, it's a good chance to get refreshed and recharged and bumps and bruises and all those kind of things. So, my expectation is that when he comes back, he'll be excited and rejuvenated and feeling good. And I think that's his feeling as well, which is why, he's taken the approach to put lots of work in. And at the same time, both he and our medical team have been very cautious and with this to give him lots of time to make sure he's feeling right. And today's practice was an important step, but he's put in lots of work to get to this point.
You can probably guess your answer here, but what's it mean to get a player of that caliber back in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, you can't be overstated. It's significant. Changes a lot about our team in terms of where everybody slots in. Not just what he brings with his contributions, but also how it slots everybody else in. It makes you that much deeper and that much harder to defend, especially on home ice and last change and things. It creates some real challenges for the opposition, and he's a world-class player. So anytime you see him, even in our practice, makes our practices better, and certainly the game that much more.
Why have you opted to put him back with William there?
I just think that's where that line's had a lot of success. Willie's had a lot of success. Mitch and John have had lots of success. As we talked about it, we can and we have mixed it up at times, and we know that Auston and Mitch work really well whenever I go to that. But I think for today's practice, because I'm not really overthinking things beyond today, but I just thought that was the right mix for today.
How about some of the changes on defense? Justin Holl looks like he's the odd man out, and maybe Connor Timmins getting back in. What led to that decision?
I've been wanting to get Timmins in, and it becomes harder to do when we're healthy on the back. I think he's done a good job for us, and obviously he hasn't played between the break and just us being healthy. He hasn't gotten in, but we've liked what he's done. He's put lots of good work in off the ice. So you want to keep him involved and in the mix, but it's competition, and in that mix you got to try to find guys to move in and out of the lineup. And for me, I think I've talked to Justin at different times, and I felt his game at times has been tremendous and has helped us through some real tough times with injuries, and he's been a real constant for us on defense in terms of his contributions. But at times it's also slipped, and to me the other night was one of those nights. And when you're looking to get a young guy like Timmins in and you want to keep him going, you're looking for someone to take out, so don't give me a reason.
When you look at the trickle-down effect with Auston back, why have you opted to keep Kerfoot in the top six, and what do you think Yarncroke could maybe do to that third line?
Yeah, I think I think there's been an uptick in his game since he's moved up there, so that's a positive thing, and we've talked about that a lot, about his history of being able to play in that spot. And at the same time, one line that I haven't really gotten much of a look at all season that I've been intrigued about is how can Yarncroke pair with Kempf or play with Kempf and Engvall, that pair. Those two guys, Kempf and Engvall, have been pretty consistent with us, and those guys do a real nice job. And we've tried different people with them, but it hasn't necessarily been Yarncroke. So I want to get a look at that and see what he can bring there. I thought Yarny did a good job for us playing with John and helping that line defensively and contributing on offense. And I'm looking to see what he can bring to the pairing of Kempf and Engvall in terms of the defensive responsibility that comes with that line. Obviously, I wasn't thrilled with some of the moments in the game the other night with that line. So it's a good time for a bit of a mix-up there, but also want to just get a good look at Yarny and how he works with those guys with his skill set.
I know a lot to settle out, obviously, before March 3rd, but that would have real potential, wouldn't it? Yarncroke on that third line gives you that depth that you want on that third line, or whatever else you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, if you go back all the way to the start of the season, that's sort of how we mapped this out, right? It was Engvall, Kerfoot, and Yarncroke that started the season for us, and it was sort of a mix of different guys playing up there. Nick Robinson obviously got a good chunk of time playing with John there, and we had to mix some things around, and we didn't obviously get off to a great start, so we got away from our initial look. But I think, for all the reasons I just listed, I think it's a good time to get that look and see what someone with Yarny's ability to finish paired with two guys that are really strong defensively, as Yarny is himself. I think Pierre Engvall, with how he's played, there's been more offensive opportunities available for that line, and Yarny can give it a boost that way too. So I just want to see how that works out. It's something, through 50-some games here now that we haven't quite got a look at yet. So we need to do so.
Maybe not so much the penalty, but what did you like about Williams' roughing play there on Saturday night?
It shows emotion, it shows intensity, competitiveness. You don't want to let a guy take advantage of you. He thought that the guy, hit him a bit late, so you respond. And some of these things happen sometimes. And I think as it turned out, it probably looked a lot worse than it actually was when you really look at it. And in fact, you might be able to attach an embellishment penalty to that just the same. But regardless, every now and again you gotta let a guy know that you're not gonna let him take advantage of you. That's part of being a competitor. So it was just another thing to add to the list of things that Willie has added to his game in terms of consistency and being engaged. So for that reason, that's why I liked it. You don't like the penalty. You don't want to take the penalty and put your team behind, but it's one of those ones that you look to work to find a way to kill, because at times guys need to be able to do that.